Welcome back. Today we're doing a deep dive into something really quite interesting. The global market for eye care surgical devices, specifically looking ahead to 2025.
Yes, and it's not just about the money, although the numbers are pretty significant.
They really are. The report we're digging into estimates the market at $7.64 billion this year.
And projected to hit over $12 billion by 2033. That's quite a jump.
It is. And it seems a lot of that is driven by, well, more people needing treatment for things like cataracts, glaucoma, and refractive errors.
Exactly. The report highlights that right away. It's a clear link between, global health trends and market demand.
And this report, it really covers a lot of ground, doesn't it? It's not just surface level.
No, not at all. It gets into the real nuts and bolts. Market size, growth rates, regional breakdowns.
Product types, applications, who's actually using these devices, the end
Mhm.
users.
And crucially, the drivers and the restraints. What's pushing it forward and what might hold it back, plus, the competitive side of things.
Right. And the data itself is pretty comprehensive historical stuff from 2021, forecasts out to 2033.
Market splits by product, application, and use. Lists of competitors, regional, even country-level details. It's quite thorough.
So let's maybe start with that overall growth picture. What's the headline number?
Okay, so the projected CGR, that's the compound annual growth rate, is pegged at 5.90% between 2025 and 2033.
Nearly 6%. And what's really fueling that? What are the big innovations pushing things along?
Well, there are some really exciting things happening technologically. The report points to femtosecond lasers, for instance.
Ah, yes, those ultra-fast lasers.
Exactly. Incredibly precise. We're talking quadrillionths of a second. They allow for much cleaner, more accurate incisions than older techniques.
Makes sense.
Then you've got robotic-assisted surgery starting to emerge on ophthalmology. Think enhanced control, more stability for the surgeon.
Interesting. And AI, that seems to be everywhere now.
It is, and definitely in eye care, too. AI-driven diagnostics are getting much better at spotting conditions early. That improves outcomes and, well, sometimes leads to earlier surgical needs. These aren't small changes, they're pretty fundamental shifts.
And I suppose patients are also looking for better experiences, right? Quicker recovery, fewer issues.
That's a huge factor mentioned in the report. People like you and me, we increasingly want procedures with, less downtime and lower complication risks.
Yeah, naturally.
And these newer devices, these advanced technologies, are directly catering to that demand. It's a major driver in itself.
So the tech is responding to patient needs. And is there more support, like investment-wise, to make this happen?
Seems so. The report mentions growing investments in ophthalmology services generally,
Ah, okay.
which means basically more money flowing in to help acquire these advanced devices and make them more accessible. It all feeds the growth cycle.
Got it. Okay, let's talk geography.
Yeah.
Where's the biggest market right now?
North America takes the lead currently, over 37% of the global market share. That translates to about $2.83 billion in 2025.
Wow. Yeah.
Their growth rate, though, projected at 4.4% annually up to 2033, is a bit more, let's say, moderate compared to some other regions.
Which can make sense given they already have, very developed healthcare systems, high adoption rates for new tech, especially in the US and Canada.
Exactly right. The report calls that out specifically. The developed infrastructure, the quick uptake of innovation.
Right.
It even mentions things like public health campaigns and subsidies in Canada helping drive surgery uptake. Looking country-wise, the U.S. is projected at 4.2% growth, Canada a bit higher at 5.2%, and Mexico around 4.9%.
Okay, so North America leads now, but maybe not the fastest growing. Who's number two?
That would be Europe. They've got over 29% of the market, maybe $2.22 billion in 2025, and their growth is projected at 5.0%.
Solid growth. Any specific countries driving that?
Yeah, the UK is looking strong at 5.8% expected annual growth, Germany at 5.2%, France a little lower, around 4.2%.
And Europe's known for its technology focus too, particularly things like lasers.
Yes, the report emphasizes advanced laser tech, especially in Germany and the UK. Plus, there's growing patient awareness about procedures like LASIK. People know these options exist, and that boosts demand.
Okay, North America, Europe. But I feel like there was a region with really standout growth figures.
You're right on the money there. Asia Pacific or APAC. Currently around 24% share, maybe $1.83 billion this year.
Mm-hmm.
But their projected growth is the highest by far, a really impressive 8.6% annually between 2025 and 2033.
8.6%, that's huge. Which countries are leading that charge?
India is projected at a staggering 10.5% annual growth. Southeast Asia collectively at 9.4%, and China also very strong at 8.1%.
Wow. So what's behind that kind of explosion in APAC?
This is where it gets really interesting. A major factor, according to the report, is the rising demand for cosmetic eye surgeries.
Cosmetic, like eyelid surgery.
Exactly. Procedures like blepharoplasty, sometimes called double eyelid surgery, are incredibly popular. It's driven by beauty standards, social media influence, cultural trends, especially in places like South Korea, Japan, and China.
Huh. I wouldn't have guessed that was such a big market driver for surgical devices.
It's fascinating, isn't it? How cultural factors directly impact a medical tech market. The report also notes growth in teleconsultations in China, making access and information easier.
That is really interesting. Okay, what about the other regions? South America?
South America has just over 4% share, around $290 million in 2025. But a solid growth rate projected at 6.6%. Brazil's looking at 7.2%, Argentina 7.5%.
And the drivers there.
The report points to more preventive eye care initiatives. Early detection programs seem to be leading to more timely treatments, which boosts demand for the necessary surgical devices.
Makes sense. Early detection equals more treatment. Middle East.
Also around 4% share, about $306 million in 2025, but their growth is projected even higher, at 7.2%. Key drivers there seem to be the use of newer biocompatible materials and devices, improving safety, recovery,
Right.
and also a growing focus on preventing conditions like age-related macular degeneration, or AMD. Turkey, for example, has a projected growth of 7.8%, with UAE at 7.7% and Saudi Arabia at 7.5%.
So material science and specific conditions driving growth there. And lastly, Africa.
Africa holds about 2.2% of the market, roughly $168 million this year, projecting 6.2% annual growth.
Okay.
South Africa is a key market there, expected growth of 7.1%, Nigeria at 6.4%. The report notes growing awareness about eye health generally, plus more research investment.
Any specific trends mentioned for Africa?
Yeah, interestingly, the use of VR virtual reality for surgical training in Nigeria, that could be really important for building up the skilled workforce needed long term.
That's a great point. Wow, it really is a diverse set of reasons driving growth globally. Okay, let's switch gears to the products themselves. What types are dominant?
Well, the report suggests implants and stents are likely the biggest category. That includes things like intraocular lenses, IOLs, for cataract and refractive surgery.
Lens replacements.
Exactly. And also those tiny glaucoma microstents that help drain fluid from the eye. Given how common cataracts are, it's no surprise the segment is so large.
And you mentioned something, bionic eyes. That sounds very futuristic.
It does, doesn't it? It's identified as the fastest growing segment, though still small overall.
Fastest growing, wow.
Yeah, the report actually highlights a clinical trial in Australia. Participants using a specific bionic eye device showed significant vision improvements over 2.5 years. And the tech held up, it was stable, really promising stuff.
That's incredible. Truly science fiction becoming reality. Is AI involved in the product types themselves or mainly diagnostics?
Mostly diagnostics right now, but it's crucial. AI algorithms are helping improve diagnostic accuracy for conditions like diabetic retinopathy and glaucoma.
Catching things earlier.
Exactly. So while not a physical product in the same way, this AI application is a key technological piece that affects which surgical products might be needed and when. It improves planning, outcomes.
Understood. Okay, moving to applications. Where are these devices most used? Cataract surgery seems like the big one.
It holds the largest share, yes. Again, directly tied to how common cataracts are. The report specifically calls out phacoemulsification machines.
The ultrasound ones.
That's them. They break up the cloudy lens. There was even a note about the Telangana government in India investing in these to modernize their services. Shows how important this procedure is globally.
And glaucoma surgery is also growing fast.
Very much so. That segment is expanding rapidly. The report mentioned, for instance, the FDA clearing the Glaukos Stent Infinite. These are minimally invasive devices, micro-bypass systems, to lower eye pressure in glaucoma patients.
Okay, so who's using all this tech? Hospitals seem the obvious answer.
They are the largest end-user segment currently. Makes sense, right? They handle a huge volume and variety of surgeries, cataracts, retinal work, a LASIK.
But are other places catching up? The report mentioned faster growth elsewhere.
That's right. Specialty centers are projected to be the fastest growing end-user segment.
Ah, interesting. Why is that?
It seems to reflect a trend towards more focused, specialized care outside the big hospital setting. The report even ties this to things like genetic profiling and biotech advances.
personalized medicine coming to eye care?
Sort of, yes.
Huh.
The idea of treatments tailored to your individual genetic makeup. Johnson & Johnson Vision investing in non-incisional corneal cross-linking is given as an example of the advanced stuff happening in these centers.
So hospitals dominate now, but these specialty clinics are where a lot of the cutting-edge personalized action might be.
Seems to be the trend.
Okay, but it can't all be smooth sailing.
Oh.
What are the hurdles? The market restraints.
Two main ones pop out from the report. First, cost. No surprise there, really.
These advanced devices are expensive.
Very. And that high cost can definitely limit how widely they're adopted, especially in, regions with tighter budgets or less developed healthcare systems. It raises access issues.
A really crucial point. What's the second restraint?
A potential shortage of skilled ophthalmic surgeons.
You can have the best tech, but you need trained people to use it.
Exactly. Without enough skilled surgeons, market adoption slows down. It's a bottleneck, especially where training programs aren't as robust.
So cost and skills. Makes sense. What about overall trends shaping the future here?
Well, we touched on AI already, but its increasing use for enhancing surgical precision and reducing errors is a big one that's only going to grow.
More AI integration? And the devices themselves. Any trends in how they're made or what they do?
Yeah, definitely. Advancements in biodegradable implants, ones that dissolve safely over time.
Oh, wow. No need for removal surgery then.
Potentially, yes. And also smart implants. Imagine implants that could monitor conditions inside the eye, maybe even release medication automatically. That's the direction things are heading.
That could really change the patient experience. Okay, finally, the competitive landscape. Who are the big players?
It's a pretty competitive field, as you'd expect, a mix of big global names and smaller regional specialists.
Right.
Key companies that keep coming up are Alcon, Carl Zeiss Meditech, Johnson & Johnson Vision, EssilorLuxottica, Bausch plus Lomb, those kinds of major players. They have broad portfolios, big networks.
Did the report mention any specific moves they're making? Acquisitions, new products?
It did give a few examples, like Bausch plus Lomb buying the Blink Eye Drops line from J&J Vision, maybe broadening their over-the-counter presence.
Okay.
Lenzar got FDA clearance for its AY system, which aims to streamline laser cataract surgery. And Novi Medical launched its next-gen iTrack advanced device for glaucoma in Europe and APAC.
So lots of activity deals being done, new tech rolling out.
Definitely. And another trend highlighted was the rise of MIGS, minimally invasive glaucoma surgery,
Thanks, right?
often done at the same time as cataract surgery. It's a less invasive way to manage glaucoma for many patients. And alongside all this, that trend towards personalized treatment plans, using genetic info pharmacogenomics to tailor therapies for better results and fewer side effects, that's gaining traction too.
Okay, so wrapping this up. This deep dive shows a market that's, well, incredibly dynamic and growing fast.
Absolutely. You've got the tech innovation, the aging population, more eye conditions needing treatment, all pushing it forward.
But with really significant differences region by region.
Yeah.
Driven by everything from healthcare funding to remarkably cosmetic surgery trends.
Exactly. It's not a one-size-fits-all picture globally.
And the future potential seems enormous. Bionic eyes, AI diagnostics, truly personalized care. It's quite something.
It really is.
Yeah.
Which maybe leads to a final thought for people listening.
Go on.
As all this amazing technology develops and we see these regional variations, what are the challenges, maybe ethical or access related, in making sure everyone can actually benefit from these breakthroughs? Ensuring equitable access globally,
Yeah.
It's something worth thinking about, the wider societal side of these incredible leaps in vision care technology.
A very important point to ponder. How do we ensure these advancements reach everyone who needs them? Something definitely worth further thought.